head on. It's not how to see where I go die. I will still be alive. I will look at you.
I'm not ice.
The thing that will help you is that we have taken your advice to put things in perspective. So we're not going to run around. We're going to put it in perspective and just have a very good conversation today. Maybe so. Let's not waste time. Transit Sports TV back again. We are here. The big men are here. Uche is here. Otuze is here, and the world champion Nimi, the team that are about to bottle the league this season, according to Otuze, he's repping big time. Kept to his word that's going to be here today after this game. Obviously, he was supposed to have a glass of wine celebrating their qualification to the finals. I don't know if that glass of wine is available. Chelsea is into the finals of the Carabao Cup, according to Nimi, but the Emirates said something otherwise. So Nimi, let me go straight to it with you. What did you make of the approach to this game today by Liam Rosenior?
Well, thank you again for having me. When you invited me, you told me, Osborne was coming. I didn't know Uche was going to be. It was a triple threat match against one, but we will survive. We will make it happen, First of all, congratulations to Arsenal. They're going to the Carling Cup. It's been a long time since they went. We are hoping that they will go in there and they will do something, at least get a trophy in that route. But I was kind of disappointed. In all I say, I was kind of disappointed with how Liam prosecuted this game. I think it was really timid. I think it was... I don't know if he showed too much respect to Arteta. I just don't understand. This was the shadow of the full force where most Chelsea fans were expecting, based on our last two games, the Napoli game, how we came out, and the game against West Ham. I believe he thought those two games, if you observe, we started really poorly in the first half. So he was thinking, okay, let's be a little bit conservative, go in, still be in the game, and maybe second half we could bring those changes, bring Palmer, bring Gustavo, and maybe change the formation. But unfortunately, man, by the time he did it, it was just too late. I didn't see the fight, I didn't see the hunger, I didn't see the determination, I didn't see the grit. It was a semi-final. All in all, it wasn't the best of performance from Chelsea. Do I think Arsenal, that was a prime Arsenal performance? No, I don't think that was a prime Arsenal. Arsenal was there for the taking. I think if we approached the game with more capacity and more grit and more energy, our people would say in the local parlance, all die, not die. We're already 3-2 down. Come in there and come die. Let's all die, not die. Let's go in and let's die. Let's go in there and let's make it happen. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, again, congratulations to Arsenal.
I'm going to come to you on the Arsenal approach. But Uche, they say hindsight is 20/20. I don't know. Do you concur with Nimi with the approach Chelsea? Because at the time Arsenal scored, Chelsea as well could have scored at that time, and it goes into extra time and penalties, and anything can happen from there. I don't know. What's your perspective from how Chelsea approached this game?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me again. Nimi, fantastic game. I think it was great. I was impressed with Liam, to be honest. So it was more of a game of chess, like I like to call it. No one was showing their hands. It gave me a feel of the Champions League final between Manchester City and Chelsea at the point where Chelsea won 1-0 with Kai Havertz also scoring, if you remember that. So it was a stalemate. Both each team respected themselves. So I felt it was the best way to approach the game. I felt Chelsea, they were dogged, they were strong. It was a battle. It's really a derby. So I don't think Liam did anything wrong in that sense. Yeah, he started Delap playing from the right, but he just wanted to be compact in the first part. And Arsenal too were only pressing in key areas. If you notice, we didn't press so high. We only pressed when it came I felt it was more like mid block rather than pressing at the top. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was a tactical mistake. The only thing I felt maybe could have been different, maybe like Nimi said, made it just changes earlier. But if he had made it earlier, there's a chance that Chelsea could have been open and conceded more goals. So I thought it was great tactical game.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I said the other side. I don't know why anybody would say, okay, Ogum, you're back. So Ogum, from Arsenal perspective, I don't know, how do you see the game, the setup, the approach? Well, it worked out, Arsenal won, but is there anything that Arteta could have done different, or do you think that it was just the perfect way to approach this game? And what's your take, the general overview about the game?
I think the approach that Arsenal Arteta took was that of respect. You see, I am high on respect. I think that Arteta has learned his lessons again. He has made the mistakes in the past with his approach to games and all that. And this season, just like Arch was saying earlier, before we started the show, he's learned to take the small and big victories. Forget all the talk. Do what you need to do to win the game. Do what you need to do to get that ring. Do what you need to do to win that championship. Starting from the duels in the game to how the game progresses, to the different phases of the game, to different games within the game. Mm-hmm. Do whatever you need to do to win those battles. That's how you're able to win a game and another game and another game, and you find yourself in a really strong position. So I think he showed Chelsea the respect that they deserve today. And he said, you know what? I'm not gonna just because I feel that I have a strong squad and I feel that I have good players, I'm just gonna come and attack this Chelsea team without showing them respect that they deserve. And so he also sat back a bit and said, okay, let's see how they come, and based on that, we'll react. And that's where I want to back up what Uche said 100% and differ with Nimi. If Liam Rosinio had come out to play today, and perchance he lost heavily, this was what made Unai Emery completely lose the small credibility he had with Arsenal, because of the way he went to play Chelsea in Banku and ended with a 4-1 or 5. It was a 4-1 or 5-1 whooping, 4-0, right? And he never recovered from that. So this Rosinio guy, we'll come to it, but man, his approach today showed me that the guy is wise beyond his years, wise beyond his years of experience as well, in how he handled that game. And then I'm not sure that Nimi listened to his interview after the game. I would like to know his take on it if he had listened to it. And I'm sure
from the managers, because if you also know, big managers will tell you, you do what you do, all your setup. End of the day is for the players to go there and execute it. I don't know, from the players' perspective, I don't know what you guys made of some of these players. Did the Chelsea players, did they really do justice to the occasion? Or is it solely, like maybe from your own perspective, is it just the manager, or that the players, maybe they could have done more as well? If you ask me from my perspective, I think Chelsea haven't lost to not won Arsenal in a very long time. I think it's getting to the head of the Chelsea player that sometimes they go more into turning it into fight than to doing what they can do in terms of tactics and their talents. So I think, I don't know if you feel that some of your players would have done a lot better than they did today.
In soccer, as everybody knows here, we're all in soccer, there's always room for improvement. And I think, just looking at the team, looking at the way we played as a team, I think there was always room for improvement. I look at some individual performances. I really felt like Enzo had 3 or 4 openings in that middle, where a typical Enzo at least would test Kepa in those situations. He could have taken those. I don't know, and I don't know if maybe it was because of the rain, the weather conditions that affected the players. But I think from a defensive standpoint, Fofana gave his best. Chalobah did what he was supposed to do. I think it was, I do agree in some extent to what Osborne and Uche has said. It was a cagey game. It was a game of chess.
Who made the first move?
Who will make the first move? It's just like when, for example, local derby of Invisible playing Houston Green Eagles, where it's always that chess. Oh, who's gonna make that first move? Who's gonna do all the stuff? But where you guys are missing where I'm coming from is I do understand you got to be conservative. To me, conservative is in a zero. Let's say we tied in Stamford Bridge and we're coming to Arsenal. But I think that when you are a goal down, I already know Arsenal will not. They're already leading us with one. They're not going to come out two guns blazing and come out. They will probably be conservative too and test us, feel us out. I just expected whereby Liam could have set the team a little bit more attacking, a little bit more adventurous, knowing that we are, we are a goal down. But I understand where he was coming from too. He wanted to contain the game and the second half make those changes that could impact the game and we could take them on. But unfortunately,
may I also add that from his interview, he discovered that Reece James and Pedro couldn't play that game. I think the night before, or even the same day of the game, was when the medical department said those guys couldn't play. So he said he had to make do with what he had. That's number one. Number two, Cole Palmer wasn't completely fit, right? That's part of it. Yeah, Estevao was fit.
He just came back.
Had family.
He had issues, so he
had issues.
Mentally, it might not be like 100%.
Yeah, he had just made a long trip to Brazil and a long trip back, and so his hands were kind of tied to an extent in the way that he deployed his troops. I thought the guys. Now I haven't watched the game completely, but I followed all the commentary and all that. But what I heard or I saw from what the reactions is that every Chelsea player really gave their best, right? And I do agree with what you said about Enzo. I think I saw one or two highlights where he had opportunity. One he actually shot
four.
That was saved. But again, you see, these things are easier said than done. These guys have played, like your coach said, that he's been here for 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks, and that he's played 9 games or 8 games within the little period that he is here. These guys are not machines. At the point, Declan Rice after the game said that he is knackered. I mean, they have played a lot of football in the past few weeks.
Let me ask you,